Hey, what's up YouTube? It's abluegolfball here today with another Pokemon TCG online video, and today I'm going to be showcasing a Noivern deck, the 100 HP Dragon-type Pokemon. Now, although it is a Dragon-type Pokemon, it is a Soundwave Pokemon, and the base evolution is a bat. So, even if you look at Noivern, it's definitely a bat. Come on, it's a dragon, sure, why not, but it's a bat. It's got the ability Echolocation. If any damage done to this Pokemon by attacks, flip a coin if heads prevent that damage. So, meaning, it's kind of like the smooth skin from, I forgot what Pokemon that was. But anyways, if your opponent tries to attack, you flip a coin. If it's heads, nothing happens, or just damage-wise. But you still get paralyzed, you still get confused, things like that. But hey, at least you can dodge, getting hurt. That's actually pretty sweet. Now, the attack Boom Burst here is going to be the focus, right, of course. This attack does 30 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Don't apply weakness and resistance for bench Pokemon, so... but it does 30 damage across the board. Okay, so in the past, a Pokemon that was teamed up with Noivern quite a bit was Dusknoir. It is the 130 HP Psychic-type Pokemon that was printed in Boundaries Cross. Those were printed later as a secret rare in the Plasma sets. But the point is, if you notice this deck here, with the exception of N, which is going to be replaced by Ace, everything in this deck is built for the next format. Okay, fine. There's Juniper here, but hey, there's Sycamore as well. Okay, but this is built, the intention is to be built for after the rotation. It's going to be XY onward. That's my assumption. Of course, some of you guys believe it's going to be Legendary Treasures onward, which would be pretty cool. I actually would love that, but we'll see, right? When it happens, it'll happen, and then, we'll have to adjust. Anyways, I'm going to be teaming this deck up with another 130 HP Psychic Pokemon. It's going to be Crobat. It's also, coincidentally, a Stage 2. Lots of, it's a lot of similarities. Okay, it's got the ability Surprise Bite. We all know this by now, right? When you play this Pokemon from your hand, evolve one of your Pokemon, you can put 3 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. And basically, if this ability is active, Garbodor is not active, right? Wobbuffet doesn't work on this, so... As long as this ability, you can play it, and you can put 3 damage counters anywhere on the field. Same goes with Golbat, Sneaky Bite, putting 2 damage counters on anywhere on your opponent's side of the field. Now, I think this is a pretty good team up in that when you do Boom Burst, it's going to do 30, assuming, right, Mr. Mime's going to get rotated, but of course, there's always that stadium that protects the bench. I forgot what that was called. Mountain Ring. This attack will do 30, right? But, for example, if you're able to get a couple of Crobats or Golbats out, you can snipe, in a sense, those little teeny bitty basics, right? Perhaps, I don't know, like a Litleo that's 60 HP. Whoever plays that. Maybe a Eevee that's 60 HP, right? I don't know, okay? But the idea here is to get these bats out here and snipe them off the bench while also hitting for a ton of damage over and over again to all the Pokemon in play. So that's going to be the idea. And the benefit to Noivern is that we don't need to play the non-EX Yveltal anymore for energy acceleration with the Darkness Energy. With Boom Burst here, for only 3 energies, we can actually get this done by turn 2. For example, if we have Noibat in turn 1, and surprisingly we survive the turn, we can get a Noivern going, as long as in turn 1 we drop a Darkness Energy. In turn 2, if we have a Double Dragon Energy, we are ready to go. We can power this guy up in 2 turns, hypothetically, and that's going to be kind of the goal here. That's the hope and the dream, and that's what we want to do. Otherwise, I am going to be playing 3 Shamans. Now, again, with only 4 Double Dragon Energies in the deck, we're going to have to try using setup as much as we can to draw into our deck to get the cards, the exact cards that we need. And that's the thing. With this kind of deck, you need to have a little bit more consistency and a little bit more speed. So I opted to play with Shaman instead of Yveltal anyways. And I opted to play with Shaman over other cards like Mr. Mime that will get rotated anyway. So there's other cards that you can play instead of Shaman, but I thought Shaman would be really good for this deck. That's it for the Pokemon. Let's take a look at the item cards and whatnot. We have Repeat Ball. Obviously, you can see here there's a lot of repeats. So Repeat Ball fits in this deck really well. We have Sacred Ash. Obviously, again, there's a ton of Pokemon, 22 in total, so Sacred Ash works very well. We have Starlight Megaphone, one of these. We got 4 Super Scoop Ups, and that's mostly for the Shaman and also for the Crobat line. Of course, if you really need to, you can actually scoop up Noivern as well. Trainer's Mail, one of these. Got the Ultra Ball, and then we got VS Seekers, 3 of these as well. AZ, this is going to be the replacement. AZ is technically the replacement, in my mind, the replacement for Scoop Up Cyclone. Since there's no more A-Specs going forward, XY onward, even if we counted Legendary Treasures, there's no A-Specs in that set. At least I don't think there was. Anyways, AZ is kind of the guaranteed, hey, if you flip tails for super scoop up, we can use AZ, right? And AZ can actually AZ up Shaman and basically turns into a Bianca, right? Draw into UF6. But Lysander here is always really good. We're going to be playing one of these. 3 ends. Again, I'm building this deck as of this date, and it's like, Bandit Ring or Ancient Origins isn't out yet, okay? So that means I can't replace Ace, the supporter, with N, and so we're going to play N just for this kind of scenario, okay? All right. Sounds good? Sounds good. Okay, we got Professor Birch's Observation. Again, you can play more of these instead of N. You can also play Shauna as an alternative. We have the Professor Juniper, 2 of these. You could play Professor Sycamore if you wanted to. Skyfield, 3 of these. And then the 6 Darkness Energies, 1 Psychic, 1 Lone Psychic Energy. And this is because with Boom Burst here, right? If you're up against an opponent that has Aegis/EX with Mighty Shield, and that's all they play, and you don't play any psychic energies, then you're doomed, right? Okay, so of course you can play more psychic energies, but I'm sticking with 1. You never know. I prefer to go with 6 to 1 instead of doing something like 3 and 4 because it's a little bit more energy consistent. Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? Because this Double Dragon energy counts for anything. It's basically a rainbow energy. So a little tip there is if you want to go with more of a mixture, feel free, right? You can definitely do 4 Darkest Energies and 3 Psychic Energies. That's totally fine. It just gets a little bit complicated when, you want to get a little bit more consistent with your energies. But otherwise, it's totally fine. Both these bats, all the bats, actually, having the psychic energy can actually wing attack sometimes. But otherwise, like, your skill dives and your sneak, your supercross, also with the sky return if you ever need to use it. It's all colorless energy. So feel free to switch these out. I think that's definitely fine. But again, mostly you need at least the 2 of them in case if you run into Aegis/EX. But alright, that's enough of me yapping. Let's go ahead and see this deck in action on Pokemon TCG Online. Alright, and looks like we're going to be playing against Tyler KB. It's a Metal, Dark, and Psychic deck, plus something else, I'm not sure. Looking forward to seeing what we'll be up against. And it looks to me like my opponent was he's going to be choosing the coin toss here, whether it's heads or tails, to see who goes first. And if we're really lucky here today, we'll get to go first. And going first for this Noivern deck is very advantageous. And no, my opponent will be going first. We see right there resulting in heads or something like that. And my opponent will be going first. And, that's the problem with this deck. Really trying to get that turn 2 going. But, we have a decent start here. We got the Noibat. We can play the Shaman. We got the Darkest Energy we can play on there. Also the Sky Field. Then the Shaman. Something like that. And, nope, don't want to play this guy just yet. And there it is. Oh, it's a bat. We got a bat battle here between Zubat and Noibat. Looks to me like this is going to be, they're going to go toe-to-toe. They're going to be flying right here, flying around and battling each other the bat way. And so my opponent discards 2 energies. We see a Jirachi hit the field here. The Jirachi can definitely be can go for something like a Sycamore, Juniper, or N, perhaps even Skyla. You never know. And there it is with the Stellar Guidance. I wonder if my opponent, with the Darkest Energies, I wonder what that's going to be with, whether it's Yveltal or something else. Oh, we see a Dedenne here, and there is a Professor Sycamore discarding a Crobat, a Golbat, another energy, 3 energies in the discard pile already for my opponent, and the Yveltal, however you want to say it, tomato, potato, whatever, potato, potato. Here's the Dedenne again with the enchantment. We can see the energy short. That's going to be really good for lightning weak Pokemon, which is us right there. We are weak to lightning. And the Yveltal right now with the Silver Bangle won't be able to harm anything with an extra boost besides the Shaman EX. And so we should be okay. As long as it wasn't a Muscle Band, we should be all right. And so there it is. There's the Yveltal, Yveltal. We can play. I kind of want to hang on to the Skyfield, but we're going to play it so we get that in our hand. My opponent has already discarded another Shadow Circle, and it brings out another Bat. So my opponent is down to 1 card, and we got to take advantage of this. So we do get a Bat off the top deck. That's actually really good. And, we'll just go ahead. We'll play this. Draw into 3 more cards. Pretty solid. We even get a Noibat coming here. And we should survive the turn. I'll probably just attack for 10. We could retreat, but you know what? We'll just do the little tackle. Since my opponent is not playing Muscle Band, surprisingly, we'll survive the turn. Unless my opponent does something like plays a Sycamore and gets a Tool Retriever and then a Muscle Band, something like that, something crazy. Or Verbic City Gym plus Hypnotoxic Laser and then hits us for an Oblivion Wing. My opponent plays an N. We do have the Sacred Hash in case this Noibat does get knocked out somehow. We have a Golbat here we're ready to go with. Oh no, a Silent Lab. There goes our Shaman, but lucky for us, we have the Skyfield, which encountered the Silent Lab right away, and then we can play our Shaman EX. The Golbat wouldn't affect that since it's a stage 1. We do have the Ultra Ball, which we can play to get our Noivern, and if we can do that, that's actually really good. I might end up discarding the Sacred Ash, I'm not too sure, but we need to draw into a Double Dragon Energy at all costs. Now, my opponent brings down another energy into the field for the Yveltal here in the active spot, but we're not too concerned about that. If anything, if we can get the Noivern out, and in the next turn we can flip heads when my opponent attacks, that would be just fabulous. That would be absolutely gorgeous. But we get hit for 30, again, we'll survive the turn. My opponent only, already at 120. The math actually works out. With 120 there, we can chip away at an even number. So let's go ahead. We're going to just try to take out the Zubat here. If we can get our Noivern, that would be really good. So a little bit tricky here. I'm going to hang on to Sacred Ash. I think that's pretty valuable in case we lose a Pokemon or a handful of Pokemon. So let's go ahead. We're going to evolve here, and then we need to get that Double Dragon Energy. And no, there is no Double Dragon Energy, but you know what? I really don't want to discard my hand. I want to keep these Golbats and Crobats here, but even with the Sacred Ash, oh man, that's just disgusting. We have to discard our hand. I really need that Double Dragon Energy, and yes, we got it. And let's just go ahead. We can play some more Pokemon with the Skyfield, and this is looking. It's all right. All right, let's go for the Boom Burst right here, hitting 30, 30, and 30, and 30, and 30, and 30. Taking out that Zubat over there. So if anything, we can take out the other 2 Zubats as well. That could be really good for us. If my opponent does not evolve them, that is the case. But I mean, even if my opponent evolves them, if we can get a couple of Crobats ourselves or Golbats ourselves. Oh, my opponent plays an end. Darn it. We had a Juniper in hand, but we do get another Shaman here. My bench is pretty full. We can either play the Zubat or the Shaman. I kind of want to play the Zubat instead because the Shamans are a little bit of a liability in case my opponent Lysanders them out. My opponent already has 3 energies over there, so it's not looking too good. But if anything, there's the Golbat. Okay, if anything though, we should still be able to take out some bench Pokemon, especially that Jirachi over there. But here we need to flip. Heads for sure. The echolocation needs to work right now. We need to buy ourselves a turn. We don't have anything on the bench. Oh, my opponent attacks with the Sneaky Bite. Actually chooses to put the damage on the Noivern. And yes, we flipped heads. Oh, thank goodness. Oh, and my opponent even flips tails on the Darkness. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is just great. All right, let's go for the Super Scoop Up. And wow, we even get heads. So I'm actually going to go with the Golbat. And that way we can probably knock out the Golbat over here. We'll knock out the Zubat as well. So let's go ahead. We're going to do that right there and put 20 damage on the Golbat. That way my opponent won't be able to evolve those guys. And again, we'll just play the Shaman instead. And we get a Repeat Ball. We can get another Golbat out here or a Noivern. But we're going to go with the Golbat. That way we can put a lot more pressure on my opponent. And we'll even knock out the Dedenne. And so here we go. All right, let's go for the Boom Burst. Boom, and right there. In the next turn, we should be able to Boom Burst the knockout on both the Jirachi and the Yveltal. Look at that. This should be GG. The Jirachi will get knocked out in the next turn unless my opponent plays a Scoop Up Cyclone, AZ, Super Scoop Up, something like that, or Max Potion, Full Heal, something. Not Full Heal, but you get the idea. Anyways, we should be looking pretty good. And oh man, we are in control here. Even if my opponent plays an N, if he doesn't do anything, he can't even attack with the Darkness Blade. He can still do an Oblivion Wing. If he can get rid of that tool somehow and get a Muscle Band, the Oblivion Wing would knock us out if he flips heads, or if we flip tails, I mean. But my opponent was able to get a Colress for a really nice hand size right there, since we already have, what is that, 8 cards. My opponent has 1 bench. That's 9 cards. Look at that. That's insane. Playing Colors for 9 and only having 1 bench Pokemon on your side. That's impressive. And so we got a lot of variety of things here. We can play, the energy, Darkness Energy played on. I'll probably play it on this Noibat over here. Spread the energy around in case my opponent does Lysander or something out and knocks them out. We still have another Noibat with an energy drop that would only need another Double Dragon Energy. So that Darkness Blade won't be working anymore since he flipped Tails that last turn. And this is the writing on the wall. And I think it's GG for us right here. Whatever my opponent does. We could see something like a double switch, but that's it. My opponent concedes the match, and that's it. And so a very compelling win right there against a bunch of bats and an Yveltal. Now, again, my opponent could have switched twice, right? Could have done something like switch or switch and float stone. That would have worked too. That would have canceled out the Darkness Wing, whatever. And so we're going to be playing against Douglas 2-5-3-2. I thought I saw a Dragon, Psychic, something rather. So I'm guessing this is going to be a Latios, maybe a Mega Latios deck of some sort. Oh, we start off with a Shaman EX. That is not good. Oh dear. Well, I mean, otherwise we have a pretty decent start. We do have an Ultra Ball, which we can get something out here, and then we can play, maybe even discard the Crobat, discard an energy as well. Then we can play the Super Scoop Up for the Shaman and draw into some more cards, and then it's assuming we can flip heads. But yeah, as I expected, it's a Latios EX. We see the Muscle Band. The Deoxys over here is another one of those that can attack right away, and we get hit for 60 right away. We do have an AZ if we fail to flip heads on the Super Scoop Up. Now, we do need a Pokemon first. I'm actually going to go with the Noibat instead of the Zubat. Now, I will go with the Noibat. So, again, it may have been better, but, I'd want a little bit more HP if we can get rid of that Muscle Band, right? So, let's see here. We could not get rid of that Muscle Band. I really needed to have that start on the Megaphone, but it is what it is. We'll probably lose this Noibat. That's okay with me. We have a VS Seeker. That's probably not going to be useful, and at least we have 2 Noibats on the floor for us on our side of the field, and so that's it. We're going to pass the turn, and my opponent will be able to knock us out. Could see a fast raid. That'll be a knockout on this little Noibat. I will gotta see what we can do from here. No energy drops. We don't have any shot at dropping an energy. Probably could have done it earlier, but either way, if we did, it would have been on this Noibat that got knocked out anyways, and so that's it. Let's promote the Zubat for the free flight, and we got a Trainer's Mail. We might as well play it. Ooh, we got a Super Scoop Up. I'm going to play that for sure. That way we can maybe scoop up the Shaman, and there it is. We were able to scoop up the Shaman and draw into 2 more cards. So that's kind of like a bill. And yeah, sure, I'll take the energy drop. And let's go for the N. And we do get the Noibat, so that's actually really good. There it is. That start on the Megaphone. We could have survived the turn last turn if we had that start on the Megaphone, but we'll go with this again. That way we can draw into some more cards, get 4 cards off of this, and we'll keep the Scoop Up, I think, for another turn. Let's go ahead and retreat into Noivern. Maybe we can buy ourselves a turn. In the next turn, we'll be able to play the Double Dragon Energy and hit for a Boom Burst, and then my opponent right here can still hit us for a fast raid, but if we flip heads, that fast raid will fail, and we will be able to dodge another bullet. We see a, Swablu over there, so that's going to be boosting up the, oh my goodness, my opponent Lysander's out the poor little Zubat and takes him out. Now, we will get our revenge on that, on our Zubat. I'm just kidding. But let's go with the VS Seeker. I'm going to go with the Professor Birch's Observations, and maybe we can flip heads. And look at that. We're getting pretty lucky with heads. And look at this. We're getting another Zubat right away, and we'll go with the Boom Burst, taking out, hopefully in the next turn we take out that Swablu, but my opponent very likely can evolve into the Altaria, especially, I mean, you never know, right? Oh, Ultra Ball. Yep, Altaria is going to be coming out. My opponent can hit us for 60 damage, even without the Muscle Band, because the Altaria boosts up the attack by 20 more since it's a Dragon type. And we could still see, I mean, another Muscle Band, and that we'll still survive the turn. Even with Fast Raid and the Altaria, we need to flip heads for sure with the echolocation. And there is a Sycamore, so we can still see a Muscle Band here. 1 Muscle Band's already in the discard pile. And we see Mega Turbos. That means, there's the Muscle Band. So we're going to get hit for 80. We'll survive the turn if we flip Tails. My opponent even plays a Trainer's Mail. So we can still see, what if we see something like a Verbank City Gem plus a Hypnotoxic Laser? You never know. That could always happen. But never mind. My opponent gets out a Sycamore. This will be a really good opportunity to play N and shuffle my opponent's hand. Now, darn it, we get hit for 80 on that echolocation. And that fight song. So we got to get rid of that. I'm going to play the Double Dragon Energy right here. We can definitely go for, let's get rid of the N. We can always get that back with via Seeker. And, I kind of want to keep the energies, but, we only have one in the discard pile. So I feel pretty good about discarding the energy. And we could get another Shaman, but I want the Golbat. But we'll go with the Shaman, I guess. I don't know. This is a tough decision. Golbat it is. All right. So this way, yeah, I think we could put some more pressure on that Altaria and knock it out in the next turn, or going, with this turn, I mean. And so we'll play the N and put my opponent down. And hey, we can even scoop up. Never mind, that didn't work. We'll go with the Boom Burst, taking out that Altaria. And hopefully my opponent won't be able to one-shot us, adding up all those Altarias. Hey, thank goodness, we got another Zubat off the prizes, and we can play that down right away. Too bad we didn't have that Zubat this turn, and my opponent plays for a repeat ball, brings out another Latios EX out here, and this way we could see another Latios EX get powered up. We have one on the bench that's already powered up enough, and there it is. My opponent gets another energy down. We can see a Light Pulse for 110. We get the Echo Location. No way. And we're able to bring 2 more Zubats, even an energy right here. And let's go for the Boom Burst. Yeah, that's right. Hitting this all across the board again. That Deoxys will be going down in the next turn. And I'm looking forward to taking a prize from that. Both these Latios EXs are at 80 HP, so we got at least 3 more turns before we can knock them out. But unless we can get some more of these Zubats and Golbats and stuff, Echolocation comes through. Thank goodness. We even get a Lysander. Oh, this is too precious. All right, so here we go. What we're going to do is let's just go ahead. We're going to put some damage on this Latios EX over here. And you know what? I'm actually going to Lysander out this one over here. And maybe that can slow my opponent down. If my opponent doesn't have any switches or anything. And there it is. We'll hit for the Boom Burst. Taking out the Deoxys in the next turn. Should be able to get... And that's it. My opponent concedes the match. Oh, man. Can you imagine if we were able to get... knock out both those Latios EXs on the bench? In 2 more turns. Oh, that would have been so glorious. That would have been so sweet. But, my opponent concedes, and that's it. So, well, we'll take the win. Look at that. We flipped 5 and only 1 tails. That is just great. Hey, trainers. Oh, we got some tournament tickets. That's really good. I haven't played in tournaments in a while, but... we'll take it. Anyways, we're going to be playing against Eastview Boys. It's a Metal, Lightning, and Fighting deck of some sort. And looks like my opponent's going to be going first. We have yet to go first. Wait, did we go first last turn? I can't remember. I know for sure that first game we didn't go first. But anyways, if anything, this may be the last game for today. And hey, Eastview Boys says, love your channel. And I guess I'll say, yeah, that's cool. Thanks. And... maybe, yep, just to send him a good luck. So we'll go with the Zubat. That's the only choice, of course. But really nice for us. We have a repeat ball, which can work out really well in our favor. And oh my goodness, my opponent starts off with the Jirachi. That's the worst. Well, I mean... actually, starting with Jirachi is worse than starting with Shaman. At least with Shaman, you can potentially, get a DCE down or 2 energies and attack with it to, Sky Return into your hand. Jirachi, you're relying on, Super Scoop Up to get him back or something like that. But anyways, there it is. All we see is an energy drop plus the Manectric, so we are in danger right now. For sure. All right, let's get that Zubat. It looks like we have 1 Zubat prized, only 3 in total that we have access to right now. I'm gonna play the Ultra Ball, get rid of the AZ, N, and N. We only need 1 more N. We can go. I might go for the Noibat instead. Let's go with that. And let's just power this guy up. We can even play the Sky Field, but I might pass on that in case my opponent has other stadiums that we need to counter. Let's go with the Shaman, and there it is. So we can draw and fill up our hand. And oh, this is beautiful. In the next turn, we should be able to evolve and things like that. So I'm just going to leave the Zubat out here. This Zubat is pretty much in danger. Even if I had the Noibat, we would be in danger of taking a huge hit. So, well, I mean, I can retreat to the Noibat. My opponent can play an energy on this Manectric and then, take 40 damage off on it. And that's, I don't know, that's pretty costly there, too. We'll just pass turn. I'm going to sacrifice one of the Zubats. And, hey, there's another Manectric hitting the field. And there we go. We see an N. And, hey, we get N into a pretty good hand. We have the Noibat ready to go. Look at that. You get the Double Dragon energy. We can evolve the Noivern. And play the Double Dragon Energy, play the Golbat, play that last Zubat as well, and we should be good to go. So my opponent's going to be targeting the other Zubat on the bench. We can go ahead and just play. We'll play the Zubat just to be safe, and just in case, right? So here we go. Let's go with that. And I'm going to put 20 damage on this guy and put a lot of pressure there. Let's go with the repeat ball. I'm going to get another of these. Oh, wait, that was a misclick. I actually needed another Noibat. But that's all right. Okay, so we'll go with this. And I'm just going to retreat in the next turn, which should be able to evolve the Zubat there, but let's get rid of that Manectric Spirit Link there and hit for a Boom Burst. So in 2 more turns, that Jirachi should be knocked out, and I definitely look forward to that. Really, our main focus here is to put a lot of pressure on that Manectric EX in the active spot, and so in the next turn, we can just play the Golbat. Now, you might be thinking I should probably discard the Golbat. I could probably do that too. Play the Ultra Ball, discard, and then get a fresh hand of 6. But, oh my goodness, my opponent's going to get this. Oh, darn it. Okay, and there's 20 on the Zubat. Okay, so I actually want to evolve right now. I would rather evolve and not take the risk of getting that Zubat knocked out. So let's go ahead. We're going to do that instead. And look at that, we even get a Crobat, so we can scoop up, and we fail on the scoop up. But let's put more pressure on this Manectric. We could put 30 damage on this Jirachi, but I think the Manectric here is going to be a little more dangerous. Let's just go ahead and add some more stress onto that Manectric. We could play this right here, but I'm looking forward to potentially having that Shaman EX knocked out, and then we could probably shuffle that back in. We'll go perhaps with a N. I think that's probably the safest bet. My opponent can knock out this Shaman EX, and then we'll end my opponent down to 3. That would be really good. That's if my opponent can get something like a Head Ringer plus energy drop. Well, actually, if my opponent had an energy drop, that would just be a knockout since we're weak against lightning. But with only 4 cards in his hand, we have to wait and see what my opponent will be doing. Let's take a look here really quick. Doesn't seem to be too many options for us, really, besides seeing that Shaman get knocked out. Now, we really need... I could have gotten the AZ. We could have done that. Oh, never mind. Hey, we got 2 scoop-ups off that end. My opponent really helped us out right there. Getting 2 scoop-ups. Got 2 chances to bring up that Shaman. If the Shaman does not get knocked out, if my opponent misses on the energy drop, we will have 2 chances to scoop the Shaman up and hit with a Boom Burst, baby. That's right. And my opponent only has 2 cards left, and that's it. Hits us for 40. We will survive the turn, and we'll go ahead and go for the scoop up. Here it is. Look at that. With the first try, we got the Shaman. Here it is. Here is the Noibat. And we can actually scoop up. Oh my goodness, we flip heads everywhere. Oh, this is just great. All right, so we'll go with that. Put a lot more pressure. And this Manectric EX here, we can knock out the Jirachi. But again, I just want to just chip away at this Manectric. And I think this should be really good. Even if my opponent evolves right now to the Mega Manectric, I want to put a lot of pressure there. And I can definitely play the Shaman, but I don't want that to get Lysandred out right now. You know, the two bats, all 3 bats right here have, you know, it's pretty good. Really, if my opponent brings out the other Noibat, then at least we can try to retreat, or we can evolve it for the Noivern and maybe have a couple lucky echolocations. And there it is, as expected. We see the Mega Manectric come out, and my opponent is at 50 HP, meaning all we need is that Golbat plus a echolocation. That will knock out. We get 4 prizes there with the Jirachi, and that would be a huge swing. Now my opponent does have a Landorus on the bench, and that could be pretty scary. Or not Landorus, Drakion, right? Yeah, that's right, with the Retaliate. Now, again, my opponent needs an energy drop and can hit us for a Turbo Bolt and then power up anything on the bench. And again, flipping tails, we would get knocked out straight out of the park, and we don't have anything to respond. Absolutely nothing. So we got to cross our fingers. My opponent's got 4 cards, and we got to wait and see if my opponent has any energies of anything, even if it's a fighting energy. Unless it's a strong energy, of course, that wouldn't really work. That would only work for fighting types, and so we could definitely dodge a bullet right there. And but by all means, if he has got another lightning energy, perhaps even a fighting energy, for who knows, maybe even a fairy energy. I don't know. But you know what? Hey, we'll still be able to evolve the Golbat, and you know, with that happening, we should be able to knock out this Mega Manectric. So, and my opponent played the Ultra Ball to bring out another Mega Manectric, and that Terrakion over there sure looks pretty scary with that Retaliate. Makes me nervous. But again, even with Turbo Bolt powering up, we see the lightning energy, 2 lightning and a fighting energy there. Oh, that's it. My opponent passes the turn, and that's it. My opponent concedes, seeing the writing on the wall once again. And oh my goodness, can you just imagine? Okay, just let's just make believe we would have been able to get a 4-prize swing right there. My opponent had nothing on the bench, really, no energies whatsoever. We had more bats, Noivern. We would have been able to play and get an energy into play. Think about it. We could play Noivern, play the Cobrat, play the Stadium, play the Juniper, perhaps. We'll play the Shaman first, draw in some more cards. If we don't get an energy there, we can play the Juniper, draw in more energies, play the energy on the Noivern on the bench, have one ready to go, knock out, get 4 prizes, knock out 2 EXs out there, get 4 prizes, have a Noivern ready to respond in case if our echolocation fails. We were set to win there, folks. Wow, that was exciting. So very pleased with the second. It's been a while since I played multiple matches for you guys, and you can see there the stats right there. So hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you are new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. If you are a returning subscriber, thanks so much for continuing to enjoy the content, watching the videos, and being part of this epic journey, and I appreciate that very much. So you guys all take care. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.